So, hi everyone, and welcome to this session of the Thriving Families Africa Summit. And today, this specific session is very special. We are looking at a pressure point many homes and many families feel. What happens at work often walks through the front door. And our guest, Peter Mbuga, who is a colleague in the Positive Psychology Association space, someone I have learned a lot when it comes to burnout. Peter is a burnout coach and the visionary behind the Workplace Wellbeing Coach program, which is currently being offered under Positive Psychology Association of Kenya, but he's the visionary and the designer of the program. And I know we have graduated a number of workplace well-being coaches at this point. So you can also tell us a little bit about that as part of the conversation. And what Peter does is he helps leaders and teams to rebuild healthy rhythms so that what happens in the boardroom does not spill over as stress. And I know he also has his own story to share. So Peter, we are glad to have you. Welcome to this summit.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm quite, I feel quite joyful just being part of the Thriving Families Africa Summit. And I have something to share about burnout in the boardroom and stress at the dinner table and basically how to break that cycle.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So I guess we can dig right in and just tell us your story. There's always a story behind where people are and what it is that you're doing. So give us a story that led you into this space of well-being and burnout work.
Yes, I'm as you heard, I'm a therapist, psychologist, mostly trained in family therapy, but currently focusing on workplace well-being and burnout and resilience. And as you say, Carol, it didn't just come out from an academic sort of background. It talks about my own real personal experience with burnout. I guess I moved from finance. Most people ask about it, into counseling psychology. A lot of people ask about that, and I'm able to tell them it is mostly a calling rather than anything else. So I transitioned from banking into counseling and of course in my later years. And so about 15, I think it must be going up to over 10 years now. I've been in counseling psychology and I left all my banking books balanced at the bank, and I came and started working in counseling psychology. So I started from scratch, a diploma, degree, and so on. A few years ago, I was employed as a resident psychologist in one of our leading mental health institutions. And that's where the whole story started, because I think I was an excellent member of staff in these institutions. I remember a lot of times, most of the psychiatrists I worked with in that place would, of course, I think there were about 6, 7 of us psychologists, but this psychiatrist would say, let Peter handle this client, let Peter handle this client, let Peter handle this client. And in the process as well, I'd have clients allocating themselves to me. Most of my colleagues, the psychologists, were very young. And then, of course, we had a lot of adult clients or even young people who thought I looked a little elderly. So they would think, oh, this man knows more or he's more patient and all that. So my work grew and grew. I found that it was crazy. I think I had to see like at least 5 clients every day. On the side, I'm doing group therapy, maybe once a week. On a daily basis, I'm briefing patients, families.
Yeah.
So I'm booking clients. And then apart from that, once clients left or were discharged, they would come for what is it called? Outpatient services. So that workload was just crazy. I mean, I was getting such good feedback. Yeah, Peter is this, Peter is this, Peter is good. So at the end of the day, I think it just snuck up on me. I started getting tired. I started having headaches. I started having, and that's how I discovered that chronic stress uh, takes your immunity.
Mm.
Yeah, it drives you to a place where you're not recovering from your colds, you're not recovering from your coughs. I was on antibiotics. Every 2 weeks, I'm getting different and stronger antibiotics. I started having skin problems. I had for the first time tinnitus. Is it? It's called tinnitus, isn't it?
What's that?
My ear started ringing. I couldn't sleep
Oh.
at night. Yeah. And I started getting more irritable at work. I remember I just didn't want to talk to anybody. I just wanted to see my clients, eat, and take off.
Mm.
Okay. As a therapist, I think, Carol, you know that the normal thing is I see a client today, then I'll see them next week.
Mm.
Okay. But I'm working in a hospital. So, yes, I've given you an appointment for next week, but I'm seeing you daily because we are crossing paths. Probably we are eating together. You're catching me on the corridors
Yes.
and
Mm.
talking to me. So I didn't want to go back to work. I mean, just thinking about going to work the next day was becoming quite difficult. The other most interesting things are burnout is not taught to us in psychology classes. It's
Mm.
not it's you're just told, watch out, you might burn out. You don't know what burnout is. So it snuck up on me. I got seriously sick. Um, and the only thing I started telling myself is, I don't belong here.
Mm.
I'm in the wrong profession.
Mm.
If this is if this is the level it's bringing me to, then it's not worth it. I mean, it got so bad. I had to sit with my boss, and yeah, I think I really gave my boss a talking to. I remember telling her. I mean, I think I had a supervisor and then a boss. And then this supervisor, I think I was telling her, I mean, you've never helped me in anything. Yeah, you've just let me out to dry under very tough circumstances.
Mm.
And yeah, it's not fair. So I quit. I gave a month's notice and I quit. Not everybody of us has the luxury of quitting. Most of
Mm.
us are maybe in the beginning of our jobs and things like that. But I was able to quit, and that's the only thing that helped me at the end of the day.
Mm.
But could you imagine getting into that situation when
Mm.
you are maybe you're 35 or 40? I mean, you're at the top of your career,
Yeah.
and you don't want anything to do with that career anymore. Something you've loved all your life,
Mm.
and it's just because you didn't know about the science. You didn't know how to take care of yourself. You didn't know how to separate your work from your life. And you know, family is what maybe motivates us. That's where you are unconditionally loved compared to work. At work, it's just results. Are you producing results?
Yeah.
So if we are not relating well when we get back home,
Mm.
yeah, then we we're just setting ourselves for a serious downfall.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah. So I learned it the hard way
Mm.
about burnout, and from that point, that's where my interest in the area of burnout came in,
Mm.
and I found a very good seat or home in positive psychology,
Mm.
which of course came about 5, 6 years ago.
Mm.
So yeah. So within that environment, I've been able to to learn more and also to practice more,
Right.
even as I'm leading the workplace wellbeing coaching program.
Mm.
And I think it's been fulfilling.
Mm.
The good thing is I went into private practice, so I manage my time now. I mean, I'm for example, I have this rule: I don't work on Mondays.
Mm.
When I remember how Mondays
Wow.
everybody is onto your case, yeah. So I now I'm able to take my Sunday off and my Monday off,
Mm.
and then plan from Tuesday. I mean, being very deliberate
Mm.
with taking things a little slower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of my story. So
Mm.
so I discovered that when our emotional reserves run dry at work.
Yeah.
Our families feel the drought at home.
Yeah.
Okay. So the presentation, I think I was going to, I've been thinking about it's just a reflection on how to navigate our work and our family lives so that we integrate them. I mean, they're both crucial. I mean, we must work. It gives us purpose. It gives us self-esteem.
Mm.
Um, but our family is just as important
Mm.
because if we lose our families, then we've lost everything. Then even the motivation to work goes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so yeah, so that's where it has come from,
Mhm.
and I'm hoping to continue in this line of helping individuals and institutions to have uh, non-toxic workplaces, okay, mindful workplaces. I still get shocked that in the middle of the best psychiatrists, the best psychologists, I was suffering right
Mm.
there,
Mm.
and nobody noticed.
Mm.
Yeah. So we need to change that culture in organizations such that they're mindful of emotional well-being of our
Mm.
of the employees,
Mm.
and that these people have families,
Right.
and strong families will bring more productive employees at the end
Mm.
of the day.
Yeah. I think
Yes.
that's interesting what you said. You were surrounded by all the experts, in you being an expert surrounded by all the experts and working in a mental health institution, and you
Mm,
experience those levels of burnout. It just speaks a lot into how much, like you said, burnout is not really addressed in our training. To
it is
the
not.
extent it should be. Probably it's addressed more when we are told what to do with our clients, but not
Mm,
what our own
yeah,
self-reflection and self-care. And so,
absolutely.
for both the professionals and the non-professionals, what would you say burnout is, and how is it different? Because I'm sure in your mind you are just being busy or you're feeling
Mm,
stressed. How is it different from
yes.
those two?
Okay. It's a well-researched phenomena.
Mm.
In fact, it's a syndrome
Mm.
because it manifests in at least three symptoms. Okay, it's basically it's not just being tired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's not just our usual. I'm too busy or I'm stressed. These are short-term challenges, which are normal. Which are normal. I mean, you have ups and downs every day, but
Mm.
that is not burnout.
Mm.
Okay, that is just stress, and stress is short-term. It's a response to a challenge. Yeah, I might have a big deadline today, which I need to work extra hours to meet. Yeah, that would not be burnout. Okay, that stress. I mean, you could compare it to just revving an engine. Okay, that's yeah. You need to rev your engine to accelerate to meet maybe a certain deadline. But burnout, on the other side, uh, it's more like an engine which has been running too long without maintenance. Yeah,
Mm.
it's chronic,
Mm.
and it's actually unmanaged stress
Mhm.
that you're experiencing this revving on a daily basis.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Of course, we know the engine will pack up and go, especially if it's not getting maintenance. But okay, so we have three manifestations of burnout that you start to experience
Mm.
once you've stayed in this chronic unmanaged stress situation, and one of them is emotional exhaustion,
Mhm.
which is coupled with physical exhaustion. You're tired on Friday. You're looking out for Friday, and then comes Sunday, you're so tired you don't want to go back the next day. So it's burnout is not something that you manage to sort out with the long weekend like we had the other week when we had a holiday on Friday and a holiday on Monday.
Mhm.
That does not sort burnout. Yeah, it doesn't sort burnout.
Mhm.
Uh, Burnout needs a serious lifestyle change.
Okay.
Yeah, looking at your life differently, having a different relationship with your work.
Mm.
Okay, so as I said, the first thing is physical and emotional depletion.
Okay.
Okay, and uh, as a response to that, when you are always tired, yeah, so you your to-do list starts to get longer than it has been because you're not effective in how you do things. So as a self-preservation mode, we start getting cynical. Yeah, we start getting detached. We start getting irritable around our family, around our colleagues. Yeah, we lose empathy. I mean, where do you get empathy from if you're so tired yourself? And everybody keeps asking. One actually, somebody in therapy, I think I've had some people saying, I don't know, I can't do this. Everybody wants a piece of me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how you feel.
Mm.
Uh, I mean, take my example in this mental hospital. Every client wants a piece of me. My boss wants a piece of me. My psychiatrist wants a piece of me. And my family also wants to go out over the weekend, and I don't have these energies. Yeah. And then they start saying you're changing, you're losing interest in the family and things like that. Okay. So you get that cynicism is part of the symptoms. But as we say, it's a self-preservation sort of, I mean, you're trying to
To make
survive
sense. Yeah.
in a world that wants to just pick from you. And then, of course, as a result of all those two, exhaustion and cynicism, and I felt this a lot. I start doubting even my effectiveness. Yeah, I'm not. Of course, you've been used to getting all this praise that you're the best and all that, and if you're not meeting your own criteria of your, I mean, your own expectations. And it's not even that you start finding that you don't have time to plan things out the way you normally would. So that, for example, a treatment plan for a client uh, that you would normally take time to plan and then execute with them. You have so much on you. So you start feeling like you're not preparing enough for anything out in your own effectiveness. So those are the three main symptoms
So you
that
said emotional,
uh,
physical
e-
and emotional
and
exhaustion.
physical exhaustion, yes.
That's one.
Then yes,
Mm-hmm.
then the cynicism
The
comes in.
cynicism.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
the self-preservation. I mean, you no longer show any empathy.
Right.
Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
start talking negatively about your boss. You talk
Yeah.
about negatively about your work,
Yeah.
your colleagues, and things like that. Trying to preserve yourself, and then of course all this comes down to you start doubting your own competence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, am I in the right profession? You remember that's what I was thinking. If this is what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On the incidentally, the serious burnout, later stages of burnout,
Mm-hmm.
if you come for therapy and you have a major depression,
Mm-hmm.
there's hardly any difference between you and a person who's burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You remember the main symptoms of depression are little interest or pleasure in doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that's where this exhaustion starts taking you.
Yeah.
You start losing interest, you start losing motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's not only at work,
Mm-hmm.
even at home. I think you just want to curl up in a ball when you get home. You don't want to hear anything or listen to anything. You just want to curl up into a ball and sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uh, then of course you start to feel hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
I was in this place for 2 years, and I couldn't see how things are going to get better in the coming days.
Mm-hmm.
So you start getting hopeless in that exhaustion and all that, that this is not going to change. And you remember I told you also sleep disturbances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, either you have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or you start sleeping too much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is normal with burnout
Mm-hmm.
and with depression. Yeah, of course, I talked about feeling tired or having little energy,
Mm-hmm.
poor appetite. I don't think I was eating well at all. And I think even if you're eating under stress, I don't think you get the nutrients from the food that you eat. Yeah, others, of course, eat too much. But
Yeah.
even when you're eating normally, you you're not healthy. Okay. Another thing, and I think I mentioned it on burnout, and it's also a symptom of major depression, is you start feeling bad about yourself, that you're a failure. Yeah, that you start feeling in burnout. And then, of course, with all this exhaustion so much around you, you start losing concentration. You can't concentrate. I mean, you have 18 things in the morning to look at. You start jumping from one to the other. Uh, and even when you get home, you sit in front of the TV, you just sleep because you cannot connect even what you're watching. Okay. Yeah. In the later stages of burnout actually end up with depression itself.
Yeah.
And that's where you'd find you start thinking that you'd be better off dead because there's no hope. This job is so important to you. Where do I go from here? Is there hope? So you can start getting uh, to have suicidal thoughts. And we've seen cases like that in recent times. That somebody jumps from the 17th floor, somebody who has a very good salary, somebody and you wonder, but they're burnt out. You stop thinking straight. You've now gotten into the worst stage, into actual depression. Yeah. Now look at all this. If you're going through all this, what is happening at home?
At home, yeah.
Yeah. You stop yeah, you stop taking care of your family because then your job is a priority. What? So unless you're very mindful that, my goodness, that this could impair my family, you will actually impair them. As we said, that's why you are unconditionally loved. So you're not going to be criticized, but you're needed there. There's so much. You have young children, you have a wife, and if you neglect those, then you're asking for it's gonna be bad in that place. Yeah. It's very easy to ignore home and just concentrate on work because there's more pressure. And everybody is onto your case on a daily basis. So it's easy to ignore your family. And without our families, relationships are everything. In our well-being, if you don't have strong relationships, then nothing else really matters at the end of the day. Yeah. Okay. My wife died 3 years ago. And you don't realize it until it might not be death. It could be divorce. It could be separations. And you find that what you've concentrated on is transient in the sense that you can get another job, but how will you ever get your family back if you've lost somebody through death or through a divorce or a child going into alcoholism or drugs because you were not there for them? You're very busy making money for this family. So I think there's a need for balancing those two or integrating. I don't think we talk about balancing now.
Yeah.
Is integrating them because they're both very important at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. So some common burnout triggers, of course, are the role overload. Like you saw, I was juggling too much. Okay. Too many competing demands. And then I lacked recovery rituals. Yeah. I don't have time to transition because our home life is supposed to re-energize us for tomorrow. Yeah. But now I mean, there's no boundary between the two. Okay. And then, of course, lack of recovery rituals, and then the boundaries between work and home are hardly there. So those three, the lack of those three will lead us to serious burnout very fast.
So again, what are those three?
Role overload.
Role overload,
Yeah,
like what you experienced. Yeah,
we're taking more than we can reasonably take.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two, you don't have recovery rituals, and this should be part and parcel of your life because otherwise you lose it. You lose one side of it's like a Maradona or a who runs daily. Do you know, actually, when you look at work, you're actually going into a marathon emotionally and socially on a daily basis because you come in and and it just runs on its own. I mean, you find heavy trays, you have shouting clients, you have a boss with, so that unless you rationalize that by leaving it at work and recuperating at home with the people who energize you, you're not going to manage on a long-term basis. So role overload, lack of recovery rituals automatically in your system, and then we, on a continuous basis, we are eroding that boundary, boundary erosion, especially with technology. Now you're on your phone, you're responding to emails up to midnight and things like that. Yeah. So those three would be, I would call them the main triggers. Of course, if you're fully burned out, then there's a whole assessment of what your triggers are. Okay, but I'm basically, I think, addressing people who are not totally burned out. Because if you're totally burned out, then you need a therapist, you need a coach, like yesterday, because there's a lot you need to change. But these are just safeguards I'm suggesting that you need to put in before you get to that stage. Because boardroom stress follows you home. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that. How does it show up in your relationships in parenting? And I know you have a famous quote about something to do with being a present parent versus being a stressed parent. So what is all that? How does it flow?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, to start with, burnout harms relationships. We are saying relationships are key to our well-being. We have many studies. We have positive psychology, Parma. A lot of studies just show that positive relationships are a pillar to our well-being. Okay. Now, there's strong evidence to suggest that burnout harms relationships and maybe even marriage satisfaction. And how is that? As I said, when you're burned out, you're emotionally exhausted, and you start to detach emotionally, empathy-wise. And by the time you get home, you don't want to deal with anybody. You're finished. Yeah, you don't have the energies to deal with your own family. So that starts the marital dissatisfaction of our spouses. Okay. Then, of course, the family conflicts start. Okay. And then, by the way, work, I mean, that kind of problem from work, there's a Japanese research which shows a high correlation between divorce risk and burnout. Okay. So that's the first thing. Marital dissatisfaction starts to kill. You're not showing up as a spouse at home. You're starting to show up as something else. Okay. The other thing is burnout harms our children. Okay. If you and your spouse are no longer speaking, it's become transactional. Babe, did you get this for me from supermarket? Okay. I mean, it becomes transactional between you and
yeah.
Yeah, it becomes, I mean, robotic. Yeah. There's no emotional connection. Yeah. There's no emotional connection. And this is what trickles down to our children. Okay. They model how we are dealing with each other. Yeah. So there's this study by Lashani, which says it's not just being an absent parent that harms a child. Okay, you could be a lot of families you will see that either one spouse is permanently at work, so they never get emotionally involved with the child, and you see in later years somebody says, these kids of mine are so close to their mother, they don't like me. You are absent.
Yeah.
You're absent. You prioritize other things. I don't know whether it's you who has taught this, Dr. Carol, that for a child, love is spelled as presence. It's your presence that the child considered as love. Yeah, not the gifts, the iPads, the what, all these gadgets you make sure they have, and you think you're a good parent. No, you missed presence. Presence is what a child considers as love, and that's what builds a connection with you, a real connection, emotional connection with you that they remember for the rest of their life, that they look for you. Okay. And a lot of working people are going to lose that. It can be a mother, it can be a dad who prioritizes their work, but at the end of the day, they will complain one day, how come nobody remembers me? I was there for them every bad day. I bought them this, I bought them that. But I don't see them anymore. And now they're out of the house, nobody even calls. Okay. So an absent parent harms themselves and their child, at least their long-term relationship. But a parent who is physically present but chronically stressed, yeah, is just as harmful to the child and probably even more so. Okay? Because the child may receive presence, but you're not responsive. Yeah, you're dismissive. Yeah, you're not there. You're not nurturing your child. Yeah, and I don't know whether in therapy you've found adults with attachment issues. I think that you can take back to that inattentiveness caused by, I mean, you don't have the time. You're building the nation. You're building the nation and destroying a generation in terms of not passing the values. Yeah. So some of the cases I've dealt with that come from such dysfunction is I get young people believing that they are unlovable, okay? Or there's something unlovable about them. Some of them feel like I never mattered to anyone, okay? And you can't blame a child. They don't have the emotional maturity to know that this is not about them. When you're ignoring them or when you don't have time for them, they take it very personally, okay? You'll find an adult, of course, a young adult, even lying about themselves so that they look attractive or they seem cooler and things like that. And these are things that they would have had if only you had given them the love of presence, yeah, to affirm them and things like that. Okay. Yeah. So there are many downsides to you as a parent when you focus more at work, and especially if you're burning out, your work is causing you to burn out. It has long-term implications at the workplace. So now, when you're stressed from work, you need to be asking yourself on a continuous basis, because the work, you're always going to be at work. I don't think there's a chance that you will. It's part of us. We have to work for food, for shelter, for future. So that is an inescapable thing. Okay. The good thing about that bit is you can change employers, but this family you have, you can't change. It's yours for life, and it's you who's chosen it. It's you who's brought it up. So I think we have more responsibility. They're both very important, but I think we have more responsibility in building stronger relationships at work. In any case, there's proof that when you have stronger relationships at home, it spills over to your work, and you're much better. It buffers you from burnout itself. Yeah. Yes. So on a regular basis, maybe even weekly, you need to just ask yourself, what's the first sign your family notices when you're bringing stress home? Okay. How does it affect the mood there? What helps? What can help you? What helps you reset and show up differently at home? Because we must show up differently. We can't show up stressed day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, year out. It has its problems. Okay, so we have a lot of research that just shows that our connections, relationships is key.
Affected.
Yeah. To our just a few studies. There's a Harvard study of adult development which says strong relationships leads to longer, happier lives. Why are we working if we are not going to have long, happier lives? And that's what strong relationships bring. Okay. And the resources you get at home, the joy, the love that you gain at home, they buffer you against work stress. Of course, for you to get those resources, you have to invest in the family as well. Yeah. And Hanstad also says social connection improves health and longevity. Okay. So what gives security and purpose? But family gives you the belonging you need. So to feel like you're part of a family. Yes. So yeah.
Yeah.
Are we still on good time?
Yes, actually, we have just a few minutes. I think I would like us to now get into how do we break that ripple? What are some of
Mhm.
the really key things that parents and families can do to be able to manage through burnout?
Okay. The first thing I think I have a small quick audit that you need to do on yourself on a regular basis.
Mm.
Yeah. And maybe just, I mean, if we were to look at the last 2 weeks, I'd like you to ask yourself,
Mm-hmm.
number one, was I, in the last 2 weeks, have I found myself mentally at work even while at home?
Okay.
Okay. That somebody says, babe, you're not here. Yeah. Have you had somebody asking you that? Number two, does your partner say you're distracted or irritable on a more regular basis?
Mm.
That shows that work problems are rippling into the family.
Mm.
Yeah. But when you're putting the kids to bed, does it feel rushed or stressful?
Mhm.
It shouldn't under normal circumstances. It should be a fun thing. Yeah, you should be able maybe to read your kids some stories. But now you're finding that you're rushed and stressed about it. And our home is supposed to be a calmer, peaceful place
Mm.
compared to what we've gone through the day.
Mm.
Number four, have you found yourself checking your emails, your messages during family time, especially those related to work? Okay. Uh, how is my stress affecting my partner? Is it moving over to my partner? I mean, if of those five things, yeah,
Mm.
if at least three of them are common, oh dear,
Mm.
you need to start doing something about that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. When you find yourself at work mentally while you're at home, yeah, you're distracted and irritable for no apparent reason. I mean, for no reason related to home.
Mm.
Okay. When bedtime is a stressful moment, the kids, of course, that's when they want their attention the most.
Yeah.
And you don't have the patience to go along. So you're finding it stressful and rushed. You find yourself checking work messages or emails at night.
Mm.
And then your partner's mood is changed by how you show up. So if you have at least three out of those, then you need to check on you have something to work on.
All right. So how
Okay,
do
so
we
you
do
asked
that?
what,
Yes.
sorry?
How do we do that now that
Yes,
we have
how
the
do you
cell
do
phone?
that?
Yeah.
Okay. So the biggest thing is awareness. Yeah. Awareness that something has shifted. Okay. I'm not showing up well at home. And of course, what we've just talked about,
Mm.
the value of family uh, is on a long-term basis higher than the work you do.
Yeah.
Okay, it is high. There's many problems and many benefits from taking care of our families, giving them their space. So 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 the first thing is being aware, and that's the exercise we just did.
Mm.
And talking. Yeah, your partner is you chose them. They're your partner. Yeah, in crime and everything else. Yeah, and basically conversation, talking. Yeah. So share one way. Work spill. I mean, have regular chats. Date night. You should never forget about date nights. Some people who have marital problems, I ask them, when did you have a date night? And they say, we will stop doing that. How do you do that? Yeah, you have one corporation called your family and you have one corporation called XYZ. They are both important. Yeah, and And one is an emotional one, and extremely emotional one, and that you need to build up, and that's your family. So there has to be conversations about how is my work stress spilling over to the family, having those discussions and agreeing on a small change. What do we do differently? Yeah, what can I do differently to make sure that we all know my job is very stressful, but how can I show up better? So having a regular conversation with your partner. Okay. Number two, being mindful about what you actually want to achieve. Yeah, build a stronger relationships in the family. It's to have a ritual that separates the two, or that attempts to separate the two arenas, so that the stress is not transferred to home. Uh, so it's like before you enter your house, know that, yeah, I don't want to take all the problems from the office to this place. This is my sanctum sanctorum. This is my safe place. Yeah. And how do you make it a safe place? By bringing peace into that area. Yeah. If you're a source of chaos, then you will also leave the same place with chaos. Yeah. So you need to reset yourself before entering that home. And how can you do that? Um, you can take a walk uh, before you show up. Yeah, a mindful walk, maybe even a prayer walk. Yeah, just saying, yeah, I want to get back to my family. I left them in the morning. I want to be in the right mood. Yeah. Um, Practice your smile at that moment because you can't keep showing at your doorstep. I mean, every day. I mean, you're grumbling about your boss, or this member of staff who's always messing up every day. You don't want to take that home. Yeah. So yeah. So you even practice your smile. I mean, it has to be a real serious ritual of re-entering your home. Okay. So you once you've entered and you're still feeling tensed, you can take a hot shower before rejoining the family. Okay. Deep breathing, of course, is also good. But how do you do that if you're not aware that you have to do this thing, that this is as my sanctuary of peace, and I want to take peace there. Yeah. So I think being aware and being deliberate in how you enter your home every evening, yeah, it's key. Okay, so mindfulness exercise of some sort that ground you to your other responsibilities at home. Number three, at least some positive behaviors. And those will only come with mindfulness. Otherwise, you'll bang your car door and bang the front door and go straight to the fridge, take something to eat, and you've not transited. Okay, so even as you go back into your family, gratitude. Okay, realizing what you're grateful for. Yeah, this family. What are you grateful for this family? No, not everybody has a family like this. Okay, listening, listening to the other people, listening to your children, listening to your spouse, offering some help. And you'll not do this if you still have your office mindset. Yeah. So these small acts protect your relationships.
All right.
So just those three, I would say for now, would be very I mean, if you just start doing these small things, they're going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, one of the things that really is coming out clearly in this summit is the simplicity of the strategies and the tools that we have. That I think sometimes because we want to specialize, because we want to sound different, we complicate this thing.
Yes.
But really, the reality and what I'm finding out about this summit is that we have the answers, we have the solutions, we are resourceful in and of ourselves. And what you're offering, it's not rocket science. It's just reminding people to go back again, to step back to who they really are and what works naturally for them.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So thinking about your closing reflections, just for parents,
Yes,
families
I've
out
quite
there.
a few.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
quite a few,
In
but
the next
let's
one, 90 minutes, 90 seconds, 2 minutes. It's okay. Don't
Yes, I'll just speak a couple.
worry.
Uh, our work sustains our life for sure. Okay, but it's the relationships that give that work purpose.
Right.
Okay, our true success is not how much you achieve, but who you remain connected to while achieving it. Yeah, the people we have along us, cheering us on, and we cheering them on, is what success should be all about. So we can choose a better rhythm, one where success and serenity coexist, where we bring home not just our paychecks, but our peace, our full presence. Okay? And our best gift to our family isn't our productivity. It's the peace.
Peace.
So what is burnout? Burnout is just a signal. It's not a failure. Okay? It's not a failure. But it's a signal that something valuable needs attention. And that's what our families are. That's where we fail, because we ignore our families and concentrate on the work. So I just want to say thank you for allowing me to share with you. And I pray that you thrive both in the boardroom and around your dinner table.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you so much, Peter. Again, for those who don't know, Peter is, who may not have heard, Peter is a burnout coach, and definitely someone to seek out in your spaces of workplace well-being. And if you would like to get in touch with him, you will find all his details in the summit resources. So we'll be able to reach out to Peter then. Thank you so much for offering your wisdom and your experience in this summit.
Thank you, Dr. Carol. All the best.
Thank you.